Well, this is a special episode, John,
It is.
and I think we need to do something for both of our listeners. And, what?
It took me a second.
Can you believe that we have been doing this for 2 years?
Yep, that's
Is it 2 years to the date?
almost to the date.
Okay.
So this episode's going to upload the day after our 2-year anniversary.
Huh.
So, yeah, yesterday, in quotes there,
Yeah.
was 2 years that we've been doing the podcast.
Wow.
And we've missed a couple episodes, of course, but we've had almost an episode a week. I mean, it's pretty close to our average the whole time.
Yeah, because this
will be episode 91.
Yeah, so, 2 years would have been 52 weeks, so 100. We should be at like 104. So, yeah,
Yep.
we did miss a few.
Which is not bad, considering
no.
everything that's been going on. I mean, the apocalypse, the second apocalypse,
That's true.
the murder hornets.
Murder Hornets.
Everything that's going on.
The presidential crap.
Yep.
What else do we have? We had a couple of holidays. I went on Ultimate Adventure for a couple of weeks.
Almost sliced your arm off with a mirror.
That's true. Oh, wow. It has been an interesting 2 years. Maybe we should, I always hated when you'd watch a favorite show or a sitcom or even The Simpsons or whatever, they did flashback episodes.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to do that. I can see where the creators come up with that. Like, it's kind of a nostalgic thing. Maybe talk about some of that this
We
time.
could do it. I've got an episode list pulled up here. We can go over some titles.
Oh, man.
I've got a couple specs, just some details based just on the podcast itself here. So let's maybe start playing with it and go from there.
Are you going to take me down a trip down memory lane here, are you?
We'll see what happens.
It's time to hit the trail, lock in those hubs, and throw it into low range. Because you are listening to Wheelin' with Keith and Johnny Orange. They're here to talk about 4x4s, trucks, and everything to do with enjoying the great outdoors. Buckle up. Here's your hosts, Keith and Johnny Orange.
Well, all right. So you said you got some numbers or lists. So I'm going to let you start this thing off, John.
So just the first thing. So a couple of these, at the time we're recording this episode, these are all current numbers. So by the time this is posting, these numbers will be higher, hopefully, God willing.
Could there be less?
A couple of them, no. A couple of them, yeah, just because it's the way the numbers are presented, at least on the interface here, it's done over the span of like the past month or so.
Okay, so people can't just like take away their listen, huh?
No. Like right now, so as of this recording, we're at 19.1 thousand all-time downloads.
Now that's on this platform.
I believe that's cumulative.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure how all of these numbers are tracked. So this is just through Podbean, who's our main host.
Uh-huh.
It shows me that. But it does show, like, again, the past download phrasing. I'm not going to give the dates, but the past span of time it looks at. We've got about 38% from Apple Podcast, just shy of 7% from Google Podcast, some from Podbean, CastBox, whatever that is. And there's a few other sources. iHeartRadio, we have some. Podcast Addict, Google Chrome.
Stitcher.
I don't see Stitcher on here. There's a whole other category called Others.
Oh, okay.
And that is 186 downloads and about 42% from the time period that's listed here. So there's a bit.
Now, I'm on a couple of Facebook podcast communities, and for the actual creators.
Yeah.
And you probably should be too, or instead of me, but there was a discussion on one of them the other day, and somebody was asking if these numbers are accurate for their downloads. And the response from the actual, there was a Buzzsprout.
Oh,
Have
okay.
you heard of Buzzsprout?
Nope.
They are a podcast hoster. We don't use them, but
Okay.
one of the people with Buzzsprout went and responded and said that basically it can be, but it can also not be. It's never going to be less than what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And then some other people chimed in as well essentially it is kind of an estimated number.
Okay.
And they do try to filter out bots and stuff that just, I don't know how the whole cloud and the internet works and all that. I'm assuming it's just one guy mining it somewhere in Pakistan or something. But anyways, he was saying that, a lot of times the actual listener or the number of people that have listened to the show is 60 to 70% higher than what you're seeing. But I don't know if that's accurate or not. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But so we know that at least almost 20,000 people have.
Yeah.
So-
That's the least of what's tracked. That's not including, obviously, there's a few people in the vehicle or something. You get one of those church buses with 15 people in it listening to our show on the way to some,
True.
I don't know, cookout.
Yeah.
So it could be higher. One of the cool things this service offers is geography statistics. So just again for this last cycle, obviously the majority of our listeners in the United States.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
thought it was Iceland. No. Okay.
Followed by Canada, Australia, Brazil, United Kingdom, and Italy. That's just in the last batch. So again, this will have changed by the time the episode airs. But I try to keep an eye on these statistics at least a couple times a week, just curiosity, see where things are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool where a lot of them are.
Have we had any listens in? Well, I know at one point Andrew had said that we have been listened to on all continents except Antarctica. Have we had any recent listens in like Africa or Asia or anything?
We've had Africa, we've had Asia.
Nice.
I
South
don't know how
America.
to see anything more. We've had South America, well, Brazil.
Very cool.
So Brazil. It won't let me export data to see any more. Oh, that's annoying.
But still, that's really cool. That's glad
Yeah.
to hear to all those people around the world and talk to y'all.
I'm glad
and-
you guys listen. Thanks. Hey, like us, share us, tell your friends, family,
So-
church groups.
So who's the one that's so what do they do when they have them in other countries? Do they have two guys that sit down and just re-record our show in their language?
I don't know. I want to know who's doing my voice though.
As I'm saying, so there's two guys that are doing this, but they're doing it in Australian or Canadian or something.
I don't know. That's got to be cool, eh?
I mean, I'm wondering. I
don't know.
But well, that's really
See what
cool
else
though.
I can look any of these other ones up.
So we've got, that's really nice to see. I'd like to see some people get on. I mean, well, last episode we were talking about our Australian friend, who was talking about tracks with us, and so we are reaching some people that want to.
I got a question for him if he's hopefully listening to this episode. So some of them giant spider, tarantula, man-eating, 8-legged things down there. Is it like a reasonable thing to go around with a gun to shoot those? If they come up on you, or
Did you buy an industrial-sized deep fryer to eat them?
Oh no! No! What's wrong with you?
A spider is just a crab. That's a crustacean.
Kill it with fire. Lots of fire. No. I'm
All right.
definitely afraid of spiders, which makes no sense because I work on a boat half the summer.
Since you got all your numbers out there, then
Some, not all.
what's our most popular episode? Still the Jeep XJ one? Or
I don't
has
even
some other
remember how to
one-
find that one?
Oh, all right.
Because this just shows me certain time frames of episodes.
Okay. I know that our Ford Super Duty engine episode was pretty popular. I know that the XJ episode was pretty popular.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of curious.
I'm going to try to look it up, see if I can find anything more here. So I spelled Google wrong, and Google corrected it to Google.
It's spelled YAHOO.
Y-A-H.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Or BING or DOGPILE.
What?
What?
What is that one?
Dogpile. You don't remember Dogpile?
No, I've never heard of that.
That was a search engine before Google.
I mean, I've heard of like Ask Jeeves. I remember that one.
Ask Jeeves became Bing, right?
No. Ask Jeeves just went away that I knew of.
Oh, all right.
Maybe I'm wrong, man. I don't know.
But no, you don't remember Dogpile? Dogpile was a search engine.
Never heard of
was
it.
Really, we see it all the time. It's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. All right,
I didn't
man.
get any of these things to load.
Well, if
here.
you can't get them to load, but
I'm just curious now.
all right. So let me ask you a personal question. Then going back, what do you think is the episode that's most memorable for you?
Oh.
Do you even remember recording all of them, or have you just
Oh
moved?
God, I don't remember most of them.
Or is just the
let's scroll through the
moonshine
list.
just kind of pushed it out of there?
Well, all right. So the most memorable, I think, would have to be the after show we did with Pop Pop. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun one. If you
the
guys want to
main
hear that, you got to
show.
get over to Patreon and listen to it.
I mean, I want to default and say the XJ episode, but I'm a little biased towards that.
Yeah, no, I know that.
So I'm skimming through this. We did the History of International Harvester episode. I'm just looking at the list here.
That was popular.
That sticks out because I was at work the other day. I don't know if you remember, we were talking about the M1 Grands that they made. Mm-hmm. Very, very rare, hard to find. Customer at work had one.
Oh,
And I was on the range that day while they were shooting. And anybody who knows the sound I'm about to refer to knows the significance. You hear the ping from an M1 Garand when it shoots the stripper clip out. It's an amazing sound to hear, by the way. It's so satisfying.
all right.
So I heard that while I was helping another customer. I'm looking at it, and the guy goes, "Yeah, this is a really rare one. Like, what's so special?" He goes, "It's an international harvester." I'm like,
No
really?
kidding.
So yeah, so he let me check it out. I got some pictures of it stamped on the receiver, International Harvester. It was so cool.
Did you tell them that you had talked about it on the
I
podcast?
did.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
yeah, my buddy and I do this. We talked about that, and I've never actually seen one. That's too cool, man.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
That's a neat thing to...
Oh, let's see what else we got
I
here.
would say for me, not that you asked me what my most memorable were, but
I'm just going through my list.
we've done. We'll go through your list. Well, you're going through your list. I'm gonna tell you mine real quick.
Okay.
I think that I really have enjoyed the interviews that we did after UA.
Yeah.
Especially with the Ismails
Yes.
from IH Parts America and our buddy over at Off Road Design.
Yeah.
Why am I just drawing a blank? I just had his name on the tip of my tongue, and
Watson was the last name, wasn't it?
yes.
Blanking out on the first two. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why am I bugging out on his name?
I'm bad with names, in all fairness. That's my defense.
But anyways, Steven Watson.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it just took me a second there, but Steven Watson from Off Road Design, who we had on the show twice.
Yeah.
Those guys, we had Jeff and Zaid, and then we had Steven Watson. Those three guys are such a wealth of knowledge and information, and they're fun to talk to.
Yeah.
They're fun to have on the phone. They've got really cool off-road personalities. They got stories up the wazoo. We could talk to them for a week straight.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's always fun when you get guys in the show, like Pop too on the after show. But when you get people on the show that like have fun, and
There's another one we had a good time with, Andy from Boost Booze and Barbecue.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
on episode 57. That was a blast.
yeah, that was a lot of fun with him.
Yeah.
We talked about food, and we talked about cars and guns, and we talked bourbon, all sorts of great stuff. It was
another
lots
one I
of
was
guy
just
stuff on
looking
that
at.
one.
Where'd it go? Oh, the Cybertruck. When we first brought that up, when that was announced.
Yeah, that was
Talked about
fun.
That was, yeah.
That was fun. Where's the episode where you think we started to kind of get into our groove? I mean, obviously we're going to be the show will be different, 10 years from now or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're always improving upon it. We're always doing
We'll
things.
be doing it from jail or something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Mexican prison. No, I mean, where you started to loosen up and you started to really kind of have because I remember, not that it was, well, I mean, let's speak honestly. In the first year of doing this, there was times where you and I did the show where we got on each other's nerves.
A little bit, yeah.
There was times where we were drawing complete blanks. I remember
It
one
happens.
time where we scratched a whole recording day where we were just like, it just was not working for either of us. And you remember that?
We didn't do a whole day.
An episode?
It was about half an episode we got into.
And then we just scratched it and started fresh?
Yeah, we started with something else. It was a totally different topic even.
And we weren't feeling it.
No, and that new topic, it was so much better.
Yeah.
And, like you said, we were both, I think, on each other's nerves a bit that day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't important enough to remember the reason.
No.
And it just, what came out of that was so much better.
Well, that's part of being friends and family.
yeah.
I mean, I consider you family. We've
yeah,
known each other
same.
for so damn long. And
But I'm not on the birthday pegboard.
oh, jeez. put you on there. I mean, I don't care. But yeah, it's and that happens. And
Oh yeah.
I think actually right there, because wasn't that, and I kind of wish I remembered which episode it was, but wasn't that one of our first freestyle episodes we did?
I think that's what we turned it into, yeah. And that's why we started doing more of them, was that because a lot of what we did up to that point was, I don't want to call it scripted, because nothing we've really done is scripted. But there was a lot of, jumping around in notes, and everything was more pre-thought and written out. And it was very, too structured, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we went from where we had, we had maybe 4 or 5 pages of notes on a topic to, right now we're looking at I still have my one sitting here on the desk from the last episode, and it has literally 2/3 of a page of notes on one page, and that's it. And it was just reminder things.
Yeah, just highlights. And it works out so much better, I think. And I think everybody would agree, too, with that. We kind of, when we switched over to more of that format, I think it just started working better for us.
I do know that we have to still, like when we get requests and we try to fulfill them, which we still love getting requests.
Oh, for sure.
When people say, hey, can you do an episode on this and that? If they happen to, now, you know me, I'm that encyclopedia of knowledge of cars and trucks.
I don't know where the hell you get it. I'll be blunt.
But, I can still get, I don't say blindsided, but there's things I just don't know about.
Throwing a curveball.
Yeah, throwing a curveball. Yeah. And when I don't remember who it was now, the gentleman that asked us about doing the episode on Toyota mini trucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's PG Outdoors.
Yeah.
On Patreon. So I don't know his real name, but PG Outdoors said, hey, can you do a Toyota mini truck episode? Well, I thought to myself, well, I know a lot about the 81 to now, but I didn't know the Toyota truck history up to that point.
Yeah.
So that episode, I did have a lot of notes. I read and researched a lot.
It still works, though.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, your version of doing notes works far better than mine.
Well,
mine's just a list of bullet points, and I'll highlight certain things I know I want to talk about.
It all works, John.
Yeah.
It all works.
What's interesting, I've kept anything I've ever written down from here. So all the notes that I printed up in the beginning, I have a big pile of all that crap at home.
Oh, do you?
And I probably should have thought to bring it this time and flip through some of it maybe. Because, I'll write stuff down as we go or something to make, remember to add. Or it's funny looking in the margin, see a little note like I wrote to you and passed across the table or something. So years down the road, especially, I think it'll be real interesting going back and looking at some of that.
Well, some of that stuff's going to be worth millions of dollars,
Oh, yeah.
From Keith and Johnny Orange.
The early days.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep a little bit of that stuff. I tend not to. I'm a minimalist in many ways, so I tend not to keep a lot of that. But
I just keep it as a reference.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of reference materials for different things. Some of it I use a lot. Some of it I almost never do. But
sure,
to have notes, it's like, wait, I remember reading this. Oh yeah, and I can dig through a file and find it. And it's, I like having documentation in that sense to be able to refer to like that. It's nice.
It's interesting to me too how the show has evolved.
Yeah.
The show started originally as, I don't want to use the word property, but that's kind of what it was, of the Museum of Off-Road Adventure.
Yeah.
And the idea was, we're going to do this show. It's going to be through the museum.
Yeah, promoting everything about it for it.
And it was going to be almost straight up just a 4x4 history podcast.
Yeah.
It was going to be, episode 1 was going to be history of this, episode 2 history of this, and that's what we were going to do.
I'm trying to remember what episode 1 was.
Episode 1 was
Wheelin Radio.
Yeah, Wheelin Radio.
Episode 2 was about the museum, the Mora.
Yeah, and then we went to the NAPCO, I think, episode 3 maybe.
Yep.
I don't remember what 4 is.
SUV Kings.
Oh, was that was the Carlman King episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was episode 5.
Nope, that was the Willys Jeepster.
Oh, okay.
And then we did Overland. We started our play on numbers with episode 7, the CJ7.
Sure.
8-lug axle buyer's guide for episode 8. What's packing your rig for 9, and then I'll just end it with 10 here, the XJ Cherokee.
Okay.
And then it's just gone from there.
Yeah, so we really did stay with kind of that theme for a while of all history. And we do
Yeah.
history episodes still.
There was one I really did enjoy, and I know there were a couple questions about it. I was one with your mom. We interviewed her about the sleds.
Yeah, that was different.
That was different, but that was a lot of fun. Because it's a part of history in off-road exploration you don't think about.
Yeah.
You know, it's the little. It seems so insignificant. I mean, we talk obviously predominantly about trucks and Jeeps and four-wheel drives,
Yeah.
off-roading, but
A little
that
bit of
really-
motorcycle talk. Yeah.
Yeah, that really was the true, first form of it. That and, like boats. We talked about sailboats, the power boats,
Yeah.
and sledding, or sleds rather, is just one of those. It just never gets brought up or thought about, but it was so influential in the beginning.
Yeah, that was neat. I kind of forgot we even had her on the show,
Yeah.
but I do remember that now, and maybe I'll have to go back and listen to that episode. I haven't heard it in over a year, and
I'll give you the episode number.
I can find it on mine
Right.
easy enough. But that was fun to do that too, and get her on that. And
Yeah, something different.
yeah, and if you didn't listen in the early days, folks, we actually brought my mom on the show, and she is one of the world's foremost Christmas historians. She has the history of the Christmas tree walk in Algonac, Michigan.
Episode 31.
31.
Yeah, a history of sleds, the first off-road vehicle.
Yep. And she came in and because she had a lot of information. She has a huge collection of various downhill sleds and toboggan type sleds that are all part of the Christmas collection. And she came in and told us about them, and it was really cool.
I just found one here. Our first unsupervised episode 36.
That was without Andrew, the producer.
Yep.
Now they're all unsupervised.
Yeah, God help us.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we had Andrew, the producer, from day one all the way up into about episode 82, maybe 81, 70s. Yeah.
Where was it? No, it was in the 80s.
Okay.
Where'd we
It's only
go
been about
here?
10 episodes or so since we haven't had him.
Thereabouts, yeah. Where'd it go here?
It's been a couple months. Andrew had a baby and all that, and
It's about episode between 79 and 81.
okay.
Something like that. I'd have to. Oh, actually, I can.
Well, we didn't do a straight up farewell episode, but
We did a farewell to him in one
Yeah, we
episode, not
did.
a full episode,
We did.
but yeah. You got me curious now, 'cause I got all the files here.
and it was
So Last Scouts episode 80 was the first one that I took over with.
okay. So you're 10 episodes in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you doing that.
Oh, no
and
worries.
It works out pretty
Wow,
well.
yeah. Oh, 11 episodes with this one.
Wow.
Wow, cool.
And so that's been that was a change. It took a minute for us to kind of adjust to that.
Yeah, it's a little bit different equipment configuration, but I finally got this all figured out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think.
So, those are the biggest changes we've had. And then, I started to say, we started with the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, and then the board said, hey, liability-wise, you guys
Yeah.
should probably be your own entity. So we branched this off into our own entity, and that's worked out great.
Yeah.
One of the other things early on, I would say up until... I would have to. I'm kind of like shooting into the wind here. I would guess maybe episode 60-ish. Up until about then, we did commercials.
I don't remember how long we were doing that for. But
We did
yeah.
commercials for a long time, and we did 1 or 2 commercial breaks
Yep, I remember that.
in almost every episode from day one all the way
Yeah.
on up. And people were okay with it, but we started to like the idea of, if we were going to plug something more naturally,
yeah,
we
just
don't.
roll it into the show.
Our only paid advertiser ever essentially was Chad from Quick Draw.
Yeah.
Who did kind of a service trade with us, which we can do that too. If there's somebody out there that says, hey, I'm just going to use an example. Let's say Warren Winches says, hey, we would love to have so many episodes where you plug Warren winches, and they don't want to pay us, hard cash on the table. If they want to go, okay, well, here's a Warren winch for your Jeep or whatever.
I mean, we got to have one each. I mean, we got to have,
Sure.
compare and contrast.
Oh,
here.
exactly. So I'm old school, so they can give me an 8274, the new version, and then give you the new TI thermometric, all computer controlled crap that you like,
But that would be more smart than my Jeep.
Well, yeah. I mean, but
I'd be cool with whatever.
yeah, exactly. So we could do service trades like that.
yeah.
But I like doing these. If we do bring back commercials, which I think we probably eventually will, unless people want to pay us not to have commercials. And
Ooh,
the
I
only
like that.
the only way you can do that though is you got to sign up on Patreon. If we get so many Patreon
Or just pay
people,
us direct. That'd be cool too.
or just send cold hard cash in an envelope.
yeah.
You can do that. And by doing that, we may have them eventually, but we might do it like a lot of podcasts do, where at the beginning you just say, this episode is brought to you by, Cialis and blah, blah, blah. What?
Or that new Lawnmower 3.0.
Lawnmower 3.0?
The Manscaper.
Oh, geez. There you go. Or the Backblade 2.0?
I haven't heard that one yet.
I own one of those. It's awesome. It's for shaving your own back.
I don't have a problem with that.
You don't have a problem shaving my back? Well, you can do it
No,
then.
I don't
That's
have
fine.
a problem with needing to shave my back.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying.
I've never done that. Anyways.
So yeah, I think it's great, man. I would say I would plug the Backblade 2.0. That sucker's it's like 3 feet long, and it's got a big old, maybe not that long. Maybe it's about, I don't know, about 2.5, and it's got these giant razor heads on it, and it's actually like a back scratcher. So you're like, oh yeah, it feels so good.
Yeah, but if you scratch really deep, you're just gonna slice the hell out of your back, bro.
I have a few times.
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, it kind of looks like I belong to an S&M group or something. It's like where did all those cuts come from on your back? But
Don't ask.
yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
But so that was some big adjustments. A studio, we started this out at my kitchen table.
And we got demoted to basement.
Then we got demoted to the basement. It's worked out. We're going to eventually go to a different type of studio. Who knows? And who knows what the future brings.
It all works.
It has.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people that have recorded podcasts, or know of people recorded quite literally in a closet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you start somewhere and you just do what works and keep going.
Well, closet works too with all the sound editing stuff too.
Exactly.
The smaller the space, and that was I have some thoughts I can share with you later about a space thing, but for being able to do some podcasting, but.
In space.
Oh, yeah, there you go. One of the other things, too, is this was originally, we called it the Thin Line Off-Road Studio because this was actually where I did my business for Thin Line Off-Road. Thin Line Off-Road no longer exists. The podcast survived past Thin Line Off-Road. So, I mean, this thing has been... It's got staying power. It's got stamina. I mean, we're going to be at episode 100 pretty soon, which...
That'd be a big one, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have fireworks and steaks and,
I like where this is going.
Absolutely.
Steaks and beer, or good bourbon, or all of the above.
Yeah,
all of the above.
Absolutely. We got a big celebration episode.
Yeah.
And then, what do you talk about in the 100th episode,
Steaks and beer and bourbon. Maybe we'll get
fair.
Andy back. Actually, let's look at maybe getting Andy back.
Yeah, maybe we'll do something like that.
Yeah.
Or just get everybody back.
Or that too, yeah.
How many people can you plug into one conference call?
I don't know. I think it's limited by the phone.
Oh.
I don't know, but I might be able,
Zoom or something?
yeah, and just pipe that up.
Pull a bunch of people into Zoom.
That could be doable. That could be very doable.
We get a bunch of listeners too or something. Just get everybody.
That would be awesome.
Like, if you want to be on this episode,
Send us an email for the download code.
Yeah.
We haven't actually set this up
you
yet.
get
Please
a
don't do
car podcast, and you get a car podcast. We'll be the Oprah of podcasting. So
that. You get a sticker. You get a sticker. Everybody gets a sticker. Well, by the way, we need more stickers.
yeah, we do. I got a few in the car if you need them, but
Nice. I've only got a couple left.
yeah, we'll have to have some made up again. But
Yeah.
so with all that, we went down through all these different episodes. Like, so we've talked about cars, bikes, motorcycles, sleds.
We've recapped both of the car shows, both of the Wheels in the Woods episodes on there.
Wheels in the Woods.
I kind of liked how we did the first one. We actually did some interviews there, and we were able to plug all that in. I think worked out really cool.
Oh, with the kids and everything.
Yeah,
That
we
was
did the
fun.
kids, some of the parents and all that. See if maybe Mr. Andrew will let us borrow his recorder for the next one. Maybe we do the same thing. I think
That'd
it'd
be
be really
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recapped Wheels in the Woods. We recapped a SEMA show.
Yep.
Recapped
Our 3-part special on Ultimate Adventure.
Ultimate
That was
Adventure?
awesome.
we've been involved.
We've done a lot.
It's been cool. It's been cool.
It's crazy. Like I said, you sit down and go through these episodes, just going back and looking at them. And we've interviewed Chad a couple times in Quick Draw. I don't remember how we started this, but I have a really funny message that we left him. I have a recording of that. Maybe if it'll edit right, I'll do that as our intro for this.
Oh, all right.
No, I'll have to double check that content. I don't remember how close to the after show. You know what? Maybe I'll play that one in the after show just in
There you go.
case. I'll play it by ear. We'll see how it
Yeah,
works
we'll
out.
see how that goes.
Oh, the Lost episode. Forgot about that one. So that was our original episode 64 that we recorded in the driveway with
The
John
audio
Freeman.
still sucks on it, but
Ow. I did what I could.
it's doable.
We recorded the episode through Facebook
Yeah.
and trying to strip the audio to make an episode for you guys through your podcast platforms here. It didn't come out so well initially. I think what was it, like 3-4 hours I spent editing that one trying to get some of the levels fixed.
You did
and
a fantastic job for what you could do.
there wasn't much more could be done.
I know.
But I didn't want to lose it all. There was a lot of good stuff in there. And if you have the chance, check out, I don't remember if we put that on Wheelin or on 4x4 Talk, but check the episode out. You'll actually see the video that goes along with it. It makes a lot more sense when we're talking about, hey, look at this, because you can actually, see it.
Yeah, that's true. And I think when we recorded that was meant to be a Facebook Live episode.
It was actually, yeah. We did it as a Facebook Live. That's part of why it was kind of, miffed up.
Speaking of that, we had a period of time. We did like 15 episodes where they were on YouTube.
Yep.
And they're still there.
Yeah.
But they probably have like 3 views.
Not only that, we did 2 whole concerts. We streamed 2 live concerts, remember?
We did.
Yeah.
2? Oh, yeah. We did Kenny Lang and we did 86 Noodles.
Yeah, that was awesome.
During the coronavirus Armageddon, there was 2 bands locally that we...
Apocalypse 1. Was that Apocalypse 1 or Apocalypse 2?
That was Apocalypse 1. That was during Restaurant Apocalypse, where in Michigan you weren't allowed to run a restaurant. And so I takeout only, and we got a couple of local bands to play in Foxfire Fixin's restaurant, and we had them do their full show that they do, their live show.
Yeah.
86 Noodles, that was the first show they had done in like 2 months. And
I think it was longer than that.
I think it was like the same with Kenny Lang. And
that was awesome.
I totally forgot we did that.
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah,
And
I think it was the one for Kenny. It was the one that benefited the War Dog Memorial, was it not? Yeah.
Yeah, we did the benefit concert. And then we also had the green screen.
I remember, yeah.
Which
it's still hanging.
Yeah, I know. We did. That was an experiment.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to watch our video
Can
of
you
us.
blame them? Have you looked at us?
Yeah, it's true. Eventually, I think we'll do video again
We'll
somehow.
bring it back. Yeah, we'll find a better way to make it work.
But, so yeah, I mean, we
or,
did.
again, not do video, and we just make them pay us not to do video.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're definitely an audio show.
Yeah.
We did a.
What's the phrase? Says, your face looks like it's meant for radio.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you and I did the Thin Line Off-Road Jeep, diesel Jeep episode thing.
Oh, the interview.
That was kind of like the predecessor to this when we were playing with ideas of doing the podcast.
Yeah, we were still formulating this concept.
Yeah, that was at the beginning, and and then prior to that, we acted together on Detroit 187 on
a few
Fox.
years before. Yeah.
So we both have IMBD credit for that. But,
Yep.
man, I mean, we've done a lot with this.
We have.
It's really interesting.
I didn't realize going into this how much we did, but now talking, obviously, we're both remembering a lot. And there's more we're forgetting, I'm sure.
So I guess, listeners, if you only picked up our show like 5 episodes ago, 10 episodes ago, whatever, and you've become a listener, this is where I'm going to encourage you to go back and listen to some of the early stuff.
Yeah, you missed a lot.
Some of it's great, some of it's not. Some, early episodes were probably very stiff sounding.
Said a little more too scripted almost.
Yeah. But it's still fun. We
Yeah.
had some good times and some good information out there, and we have still lots to talk about.
Oh yeah, and then I don't remember. Let me look now because I'm curious.
We've talked about ghosts and aliens and
Yep.
all that stuff. I mean,
So I'm curious when we started the after show here too.
I think that started around episode 21 or 22.
Yeah, it went way further back. Well, all right, way further back. Episode 8.
8?
Episode 8.
Wow.
So August 26, 2019 was our first real end of the trail episode. I mean, it took us a while to figure some of that stuff out. We're still working on making that one better.
I mean, I'll just straight up say it. I've never liked Patreon's platform.
Yeah.
It's not super easy to listen to on an Android. I don't know about an Apple. But
I wouldn't know.
The Patreon app is okay.
Yeah.
But it's buggy as in, like, it makes you re-log in a bunch of times. At least for me. It could just be that I've got an antique phone.
Yeah, maybe.
But I need to get back on there and play with it again.
Yeah. I still got a lot of stuff to fix on there. There's a lot of them we didn't do episode descriptions. And I just don't want to dedicate the time right now to go through and listening to all of them.
And I haven't gone back and listened to any of the after shows for quality. I always listen to the regular show for quality one time. But there's only a couple shows I've listened to more than once.
Nice.
You know, I listen to it usually the week or, a couple days, a day or maybe after it uploads. And I go, okay, yep, sounds good. But we've definitely had a lot of different fun stuff with there.
Yeah.
We had my son on briefly.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And that was the Z71 episode, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause he's
didn't
got-
we have some other little kids that were here or something, didn't we? I remember one we had. Who was it?
We didn't have Justin.
No. It's like one of your daughter's friends or something, I think.
One of my daughter's friends. Man, I don't remember that.
It was something we had her read something. That's all I remember because they sat where I was sitting.
Well, Stephanie read something, maybe using our equipment for the dive team.
It wasn't Stephanie.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember now. I just remember we did that. I don't even know if I'll be able to. Sure, I won't be able. That's gonna bug the crap out of me.
Well, yeah, no, it's that does not.
Ring a bell?
No, we had them just read something.
I thought that's what it was. Yeah, it might have been for an ad, maybe.
Are you sure that you're not talking about like one of your video production things you do?
Oh, I'm positive. Yeah, because this is the only one I sit in front of and talk on the mic to.
Okay.
No, 100%. It was when we were still upstairs in the kitchen.
Huh.
I don't remember if it was an ad or something else. We'll have to talk to Andrew. Maybe he remembers.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's going to really bug me.
Well, you'll have to let me know when you figure it out. But
if I even remember to look into it.
I think we have talked about almost every component of a vehicle on this.
Pretty much. Yeah, fuel systems.
Fuel systems, brakes, axles,
shocks,
transfer cases, transmissions.
Told you I'd never bring it up again. I'm just going to say it once. Bar pin eliminator.
Oh, Jesus Christ, John. You know what? Maybe this is the time for it because I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast. So, Mr. Johnny Orange and I go way back, as you have heard on the show before, back to our scuba diving days. And I had an old cattle farm in Algonac, Michigan, and he was looking for a place to start working on his Jeep, and he was trying to learn at the same time, and he was absolutely obsessed with removing the bar pins on his shock absorbers on his Jeep XJ, the one that he still talks about on every episode that's still not finished and has not run since 1993. So he, I literally 2-3 months of this. I'm gonna do this bar pin eliminator thing, and it's like, he was like hung up on it. It was like it was like you were Rain Man, and you were obsessed with it. And until the bar pin eliminator, I mean, dude, man, oh God, such a simple piece of steel. And I mean,
the funny thing is, I remember so much about that back then because I was still learning, and what had started that was a way to recycle other parts to do other things. I mean, it was a sway bar mount converted to those, just recycling parts to make things easier to do. And I just remember when I started learning about all this stuff, how fascinated I was by doing things like that.
I still have PTSD from that, John.
I'm sorry.
I have nightmares.
I'm going to just start randomly sending you pictures of those.
Jesus. Start sending me one in the mail. Just a bar pin eliminator. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's funny.
That was just, yeah. Yeah, no, that was fun. We've definitely had some good times.
Oh, yeah.
I think that, and we've talked about our own builds, and as you've found out on this show, we're very much bench builders as much as we are active in this. You'd think that we wheel every weekend, and we don't.
No.
But we're enthusiasts. We're part of the museum.
Looking into it, reading, researching, learning.
But we still get involved in other stuff like SEMA, like Ultimate Adventure, like Wheels in the Woods, like the Museum of Off-Road Adventure. We still do work on our rigs. We do take them wheeling when we can. We have fun with them. And, the more that we do this, the more that we get more interested in it again. Sure. John came from a dive boat, scuba diving, marine kind of guy that got interested in the four-wheel drive stuff. I came from the hot rod classic car world who got interested in the 4x4 stuff. It's not like we said, okay, well, we're just going to start 4x4 stuff because we think there's a hole in the market for it or something. It's just,
I always wanted to learn. I never knew.
We've just had fun with it.
Yeah, I've said it before. Everyone's going to hear it again. They're going to hear it right now. When I started down this road in the automotive world, I could change a spare tire, I could jump start a vehicle, and I could top off fluids. Most, not even all fluids. I didn't know where power steering fluid went.
You find a cap and just dump it in one of the reservoirs.
I knew about, oil and windshield fluid, and that was it.
Yeah.
And blinker fluid, but I mean.
Yeah.
And since then, I've worked at 2 different major auto parts companies, service writer, service advisor, parts guy at a dealership for 4 years. Built all this stuff, and it all started from meeting a guy in a dive class.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds like a horrifying Hallmark love story movie.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, changing subjects.
And tonight on Channel 29, the Hallmark channel.
That's a Canadian TV.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Global.
I just made up a channel. It is Keith and Johnny Orange in Autumn of Love.
Oh my God.
What?
Let's wrap this and get to the after show. I need something to drink.
Oh man,
it's amazing. Just the life involvement or the different aspects of all that we've all had in each other's lives.
I totally missed another guy. I mean, I know we had a number of different people, but I want to do another shout out, and it's simply because he was on UA. He was so quiet and so reserved. And then when I reached out to him about talking on the show for like maybe a 15-minute bit, and it turned into an over an hour interview, Joe Grisham from Joko Welding and Fab
that was fantastic.
He was awesome to have on the show. He was so much fun, man. And he could talk all day long about roll cages and fabrication and stuff like that. And it was just like he just came out of his shell.
Yeah.
It was his first podcast. And, that's something else. We have been the first podcast for Jeff and Zaid from IH Parts America. We were the first for Joe from Joko Fab. The first for Chad McKinney of Quick Draw.
Oh, yeah.
He had been on 4x4 TV or whatever it was called before, but he'd never been on a podcast before.
Yeah.
Stephen Watson had been on one podcast prior to ours, but we've been a lot of my mom, Diane.
You and me.
Yeah.
We can't really count ourselves.
No, I know. And I'm sure we've had others, but
I just remembered something else we did. I know we talked about it on the show. I think you completely forgot about Somewhere We Went. Kind of a remote podcast we did.
The school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
about that.
I was looking through some old pictures just a couple days ago, and I saw that.
Oh, nice.
So we went, and we went to elementary school in Yale, Michigan. We were invited guests.
Back to school to prove to our dads we weren't fools.
And they wanted somebody to do a presentation about podcasters.
Nothing there.
And what?
Billy Madison.
Oh, jeez. Anyways,
Keith is head in hand right now from that.
yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, they wanted, and so we went and we did, I think 3 presentations that day.
It
two or
sounds
three-
about right.
2 or
yeah.
3 presentations a day, in front of about 15 elementary school kids. We couldn't record them and have them on the show
No,
because of liability.
Yeah.
But we were there and we did a presentation for them. We showed them what we do. We brought some equipment, brought our mics. We set up everything on the TV to show
Yeah.
them pictures, and that was a lot of fun.
that was cool.
Be able to do that. So being able to do that and reach out to a lot of these different people, we've really created the Wheelin universe here.
Oh yeah.
And we've got the 4x4 talk community, which is in really about the last 3 months really starting to take off.
Yeah, which is so awesome to see what it was. I mean, it was nothing. We created it.
Yeah.
And it's just building with all these people putting into it, which is just so cool. So huge thanks to all of those guys. All of you helped make this what it is. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, folks. We appreciate you listening and just, to our babble and,
And a huge apology too. I mean, you got to listen to all this every week. I'm sorry.
One thing, if you are a fan of the show, John's done a little bit of technical talk about our numbers and stuff like that. One of the ways that podcasts get promoted is internally. I'm going to give you a little bit of information on this, and John may even know about this, may not, but I've done a bunch of research on this. Various platforms, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Podbean, all that, they promote podcasts internally. So they have algorithms, and they even have people that are in front of a computer looking at it.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, well, one of the ways Apple does it, they take new podcasts, they promote the heck out of them for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then they just forget about them. Unless they start to become really popular again. Other ones look at all the different numbers, they look at the downloads, things like that. One of the things that they all look at for internal promotion is comments, not just reviews.
Yeah.
They look at reviews, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, but comments on their platform. And the more comments that they see on their platform, they know that that's an engaged community for that podcast, so they tend to promote those ones over the ones that are getting no comments.
Yeah.
So what we're asking you to do, if you're a fan of the show and you want to help us reach more listeners, it doesn't bring us money or anything like that, but it does help to bring more people into our community. Whatever platform you're listening to us on, please consider going on, and there'll be a comment section, and just say something. Give us a little shout out, or say, hey, this is my rig, or I really like listening to the show, or you guys suck, I'd much rather listen to Oprah, or whatever you want to say on there.
If you do, I guess make sure you hit like and subscribe, and share your favorite episode. Let other people know about us.
Yeah, that always helps too. If you share our episodes on social media, we do get a lot of that. But if there's something where you say, hey, this episode was great, or I thought it had a lot of great information, put a little comment and share the episode link via Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or all 3.
Yeah.
In MySpace even, if you want. Although I've never...
I remember that's still around. Let me look.
It is still around, but I don't know how to use it. I'm not on there.
My account, I'm probably still logged in. Let's find out.
You're probably still logged in.
Yeah.
John has 38,000 unread private messages.
No, MySpace is definitely
I
still.
told you it's still there.
Is that my username?
I thought people just use it for buying drugs these days.
I don't know. If that's the case, I've been using it wrong a long time. Yeah, I'm logged in.
You're logged into my... I don't even know what it looks like anymore.
I don't know what I'm doing on it, but
Oh my God.
I don't even know how to find my
Your
where is it?
MySpace. Well,
I
John-
don't know, but there's so I forgot about another website, some of our statistics. So this is our current rankings again as of the time of the recording for Apple Podcast in the U.S. Automotive. We're ranked 131 at the moment.
well, we were up at 70-something at one time, but
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I can't look at rank history. I got to log in.
it goes up and down daily. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah.
And right now we're number 200 in Canada.
Of
So-
what? Automotive?
Of Automotive Canada, we are number 200.
That sounds lazy. How many, or that sounds terrible. How many podcasts do they have up there for cars?
I don't know, but they're desperate if we're in the U.S. ranking in Canadian numbers.
Well, actually, I did hear, or I did some research at one time, and I don't remember where I read it. It might have been on something with Apple, but they said at the time there was estimated like 30,000 automotive podcasts worldwide or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're in the hundreds over 30,000, I guess we're doing pretty good.
I'm all right with that.
I guess that's still an AA minus.
Yeah.
No?
Well, it's better than I did in high school.
Well, for me too. I graduated with a 1.5.
Ooh, I think I was not much better than that. I'd have to look back, but I did not do well. I did good in college,
Same here.
but I did not do well in high school.
So no, that's cool though that
Yeah.
that they're up there. But yeah, it does help us if you do
Oh,
a
yeah.
comment on there. And I stopped watching those numbers a long time ago. I mean, it's fun to watch, but
Yeah.
you get stressed out because I know at one time we were like on Apple Podcasts, I don't even know why, we were like the 71st most popular podcast or something in the world.
Yeah.
And then the next day we were like the 900th or something. And it was like, wait a minute, what just happened here?
The internet glitched out, and we're the only ones that were there.
Yeah, the only ones there. Yeah, the internet just fails tomorrow, and the only website that works is wheelinradio.com.
I'm okay with that. Our numbers will be from desperation and loneliness because they want someone to listen to, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I will have friends.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Wheelinradio.com, by the way, is a real website, and there's a number of links you can click on to go to various podcast sources and,
Yeah.
and things like that. But if you're already listening to us, you figured out how to.
Yeah, you've probably already hit subscribe. hopefully.
Unless for some reason you've got some sort of weird machine that you somehow accidentally dialed us in on, like a World War II radar detector from a submarine or something. But
That's pretty specific, bro. I don't think it works that way.
or I don't know,
I don't know if submarines have internet access.
or some weird old antique tube radio somehow is
Now,
picking
what
us
would
up.
be interesting if, through the space-time continuum, if someone picks this up back in, like, the 20s or 30s, and we're somehow, like, crazy influential on the entire change of the automotive world. That'll
Oh,
never
that
happen.
would be weird.
Yeah.
That's
That'd
like
be
the
interesting.
that's like the movie Frequency.
Frequency. Yeah, I love
that's
that movie.
pretty good
That's
movie.
a great movie.
So, well, I mean, the space-time frequency, somebody, undoubtedly, unless podcasts are just canceled, once these are all put out into the ether, they're there.
Oh, yeah.
And so somebody could be listening to this, or is probably listening to this, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 500 years from now, 10,000 years from now. We don't know.
We could be the example of what a podcast used to be and what it did and what it meant. Like we're going to be for the future, like how we talk about those people back in caveman days when they first started using a hammer and chisel.
Well, yeah, I can see this where there's going to be some college class in like the year 3000. They're going to be playing this clip. And they're going to be like, this is an example of the downfall of Western society.
Of what not to do.
Yeah, exactly. This is whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember. I think they call it in a movie, acknowledging the fourth access.
The fourth wall.
The fourth wall.
Yeah, we're
So like
breaking
in
the
Deadpool.
fourth wall right now.
Yeah, you just call it out. You totally address the audience. I don't know. Would this be third wall here? Because we're audio.
Constantly addressing the audience.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I mean. But we talk about the future. No, I guess it would be kind of a fourth wall. We're talking to them in the future from now.
Well, I just said like 10, 20, 30 years, or 50 years.
Yeah.
So 10 years, I'm going to listen to this and go, ha, I am from the future listening to this.
That's awesome.
I'm going to do that.
You know what I miss? You want me to add a really sad twist to this?
Sure.
We're talking to all these people in the future, and we're never going to hear a response.
Yeah, we will. In the future.
Are we going to remember it? Are we going to be around though? We'll never hear.
I'm going to most certainly be around in 10 years.
You get the whole freezer thing going.
Or freeze thing, yeah. Well, yeah, 3,000 years from now, maybe not. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, but still, that's really cool.
We'll see.
Or, if you're listening to us 3,000 years from now, you need to know that John and I were the pinnacles of the human population. There was nothing better than us, and you need to get in your time machine and come get us, and take us.
That would be sweet.
And take us to your people, so we can be, an example of the pinnacle of humankind from the 21st century.
So based on that statement, though, are they going to come back to 100 episodes from now to take us, or to this one?
Well, I prefer this one.
I mean, me too, but I'd kind of like to know where we go with it. Or take us there.
Hey,
We'll
what's that
catch up
weird
on everything
glowing
and come
thing in the
back.
corner?
I don't know, man. I don't think that's water you're drinking, my friend.
Oh, man. John, you know what? This has been fun, but I think we should let them have enough of our banter for this.
Give 'em a
Which,
break for
by
the
the
week.
way, this has almost been one of our after show episodes, just kind of extended
Almost,
a little
yeah.
bit. So,
Not quite as PG-13 R-rated.
no, exactly.
Just probably for the best.
You know, speaking of which, where else can they find us?
So on Facebook.com, you can look us up by typing in your search bar 4x4 Talk. That'll pull up the 4x4 Talk, kind of our medium to and from the people. Well, that's weird saying it that way, but it works. So if you got any questions or you want to know something, you want us to talk about it on the show, post it there. Take a look around, spend some time there, look at build pictures, different people's rigs, see what they've got going on. You can look through the questions. Maybe somebody's already answered what you're looking to know. And just go around there. A couple quick questions to get you on the page and check it out. Make sure you check out patreon.com/Wheelin Radio. We do have a paid access option on there, as low as $2 a month. Get you access to all of our current shows and everything, as well as all the free episodes that we have from the past that we've done. So check that out. Let us know what you think. We've mentioned it a couple times here. Hit like and subscribe. Share your favorite episode with all your friends and family. See what they think. Maybe get them on board with us as well. Leave us a review. Leave us a comment on whatever platform you're listening to, and we'll go from there.
And if you want to hear more about the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Museum of Off-Road Adventure. And you can come check us out in person in Clay Township, Michigan by appointment only by making a reservation at 877 FWD Mora.
I like it. So with that, we'll say, first and foremost, happy anniversary to you, Keith. Thank you for everything the last 2 years. Thank you to all you listeners for putting up with us the last 2 years. It's been greatly appreciated.
Happy anniversary to you, John.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening, and have a good one, everybody.